Welcome to J is for Justice podcast. If live breaking news and following true crime is your thing, then please consider subscribing to my channel. And if you like what you see in my videos, please consider giving them a thumbs up. Hello, hello. Welcome to Monjay Live here on J is for Justice. I am your host, Jay. Welcome, welcome. If you are new here, please consider subscribing. I would appreciate it. Welcome in, everybody. We're going to go live in about a half an hour to an update on the school shooting. I'll show you. Oh, whoops. Wisconsin had a school shooting today. I'm sure you guys have all heard about it. There's going to be a press conference in about 30 minutes, and we're going to break over to that. I'll show you where we are waiting. There is a live press conference pending. Okay, so we're going to be covering 2 Wisconsin cases today. Yeah, hit the thumbs up for the grilled cheese cooters today. I just finished up my grilled cheese. Just finished up my lunch. So we have that going on, and then we heard of another tragedy. We just played Bruce Rivers' intro song the other day, and I'm very sad to report that Bruce has lost his son, who was his producer. They were like co-producers. It is crazy. Wisconsin is going off the deep end, Maligator. You ate Cinnamon Toast, Lucia? Well, welcome in, everyone. Good afternoon. Thanks for being here, moderators and members and listeners. If you guys aren't a member and you'd like to become one, the mods can let you know how to do that, or you can scan that little QR code up there and become a member of the Clickers here on YouTube. So we're going to be getting to that school shooting update. There's several that have died. The shooter was a juvenile. We're hearing we don't know what the gender of the shooter is, but we will get to that in about 30 minutes at 3:30 Eastern. In the meantime, we're going to cover this case because this dude here, Ryan Borgwardt, whatever his name is, sounds like a Wisconsin name, don't you know? This is the dude that went kayaking and ditched his whole fam, which is absolutely sad, right? Let's take a look at this first. Let's take a look at Ryan and his wife. This didn't age well. My heart breaks for her. My heart absolutely breaks for her. They were married for 22 years. She just filed for divorce. I think it was a heart attack. His heart gave out is what I'm hearing. Thank you for hitting that like button today. So here is Ryan and his wife in happier days. But listen to these comments. This is July 13th of this year. I know, this poor woman and her children. My heart breaks, dude. She wants an annulment, and I don't blame her. I don't blame her. But this was posted on July 13th of this year, and then this person says, I think you should have reenacted the wedding, one with your arm around him. And then his wife replies, we're at my niece's graduation party. This is as good as it gets today, with a laughing face. And then her friend says, cute pic. Just think for your 25th then. That totally broke my heart. Who went to school with her? Maligator? Their kids? He is a freaking clown. I just wanted to show that. I just, especially with Christmas, can you imagine how his family, his wife, his children are reeling? It's awful. I mean, let's take a listen to what he did. We're gonna tune into Vinny Politan. Thank you so much for providing this video for us to go through today. This is Court TV. Vinny Politan investigates, giving us the lowdown.
August 11th, 44-year-old Ryan Borgwardt, a married father of 3, went out by himself to go fishing on a kayak on Green Lake in Wisconsin. At 10:49 that night, he texted his wife that he was heading to shore. But when Ryan did not return home that night, his family became concerned. Law enforcement jumped into action and began to search for Ryan. At first, they found the overturned kayak with a life jacket attached. Then, a water bottle, a tackle box, and a fishing rod belonging to Ryan. Everyone thought the worst. Searchers began scouring the lake looking for Ryan, but he was never found. So as the investigation continued, law enforcement changed directions and began looking into Ryan's life. What they discovered was shocking. All the evidence seemingly pointing to a man faking his own death, moving money around, and communicating with a woman from overseas. All this leading to more questions about the mysterious disappearance of Ryan Borgwardt.
And there they are. There's their wedding. He didn't deserve her. He didn't deserve her. He didn't deserve his family. This man has 3 children that are teenagers, guys. Can you imagine what they're going through? Because he met someone overseas. And at first they thought he was dead. Pearl Strand, if he capsized, how did the fishing gear stay in the boat? Don't know. I don't know.
I told you this story is different than most. This happens every once in a while. The circumstances here are fascinating on one hand, tragic on another, and still, I have a lot of questions. I want you to take a listen to the sheriff here. This is the sheriff early in the investigation talking about what was found.
On August 12th, 2024, at 5:32 p.m., our office received a call from the Dodge County Sheriff's Office in reference to a subject that did not return home that evening, and the last known location he was Green Lake. Deputies headed that way and checked areas around the lake and found Ryan's vehicle along with his trailer parked in the area of Dodge Memorial Park. We immediately deployed our boat, and at 6:31, two of our deputies found a capsized kayak in the western part of the lake in the area of the 220-foot depth of water. There was a number of pings that we got from the phone that Ryan had contact with his wife, and that would have been Sunday evening. And the last one, where it shows you on there, it says last ping. That was one where he told her that he was going to be turning around and heading towards shore soon.
What a
We then
dick.
got another ping around 11:50-ish, and that was just the last ping that we got on the phone. So we started to search that area extensively, our patrol boats, the DNRs, and we continued to do that. And at 1:15 p.m. that Monday, Bruce's Legacy arrived. Our plan was to put him into the deeper end with his sonar, and that he would search that. We used side sonar.
All these resources cost about $35,000. Maligator, thank you for throwing in deets in the chat. Maligator's daughter goes to school with a couple of these kids, and this is her community, y'all. And on their Facebook, they are very religious. Lots of pictures taken at the family church. I don't know, was divorce like not on the table because of their religion, but leaving the country for another woman is? I would like to know who this woman was and how old she was. I want to know who she is. I don't know why, but I do. I want to know how old she is.
In our boat to do the shallower part of the lake. At around 9:30-ish, there were some boaters out there, and one boat with two fishermen on were casting along the bottom of the lake, and they come up with a fishing rod. That fishing rod was taken as evidence, photographed, and was identified by the wife of the victim.
So they found the fishing pole at the bottom of the lake.
So we continue to search, figuring that could have been a point of interest. And at 3:45 that same day, Tuesday, we found, someone called and said that they found a tackle box. The stuff inside that tackle box had a wallet and keys and a license belonging to Ryan.
He left everything behind, license, wallet, keys, and then he made his way to Canada and then made his way to Eastern Europe. Take a listen to Vinny.
What a story, right? I mean, from everything, from all the looks of it, right? The kayak's turned over, they're starting to find pieces of his things, and yet they can't find him. They can't find him. But we know that he left. So that brings us to our first question, which is, how did he disappear? How did he get from point A to point B, wherever he is, purportedly somewhere overseas? Joining me to help figure all this out, reporter for Scripps News Green Bay, who's been covering this investigation, Margaret Cahill is with us, and the diver in the search efforts to help find Ryan Borgwardt, Charles DeGroot, is with us. Great to have you both here. Margaret, let me start with you. Well, before I get to you, I want to go through and take a look at a map so the folks at home have a better idea of what we're talking about here.
Let's look at his trail here.
In terms of what his story was to police, because he's been in contact with police. He says that on the lake, he overturned his kayak and dumped his phone. So the phone is dumped in the lake, kayak's overturned, and then he says he got into a child-size inflatable boat.
Can you believe this dude went to these lengths? I mean, what in the pure hell?
And then floated to shore in this little, I guess you would call it like a little dinghy, right? Then this is the unbelievable part. Ryan then says he used an e-bike that he had stashed earlier to ride more than 70 miles overnight from the lake to Madison, Wisconsin. in Madison. He says he then got on a bus
I can't with
and
this
went
guy.
to Detroit. And then in Detroit, took another bus that took him north of the border into Canada. And then once he gets into Canada, he gets on an airplane to go parts unknown somewhere overseas. Margaret, explain to me the investigation, right? It's a missing man, and all indications are he's in this lake. So as the story progressed and changed, tell me like the reaction in the newsroom, the reaction in the community as this turned into something completely different.
Yeah, it's really incredibly a shocking story. I started covering this back in August when Borgwardt initially went missing. They were treating it just as any missing persons case. And then after about a week or so, the sheriff said, we definitely think it was a drowning, and they were looking for his body. They were working with a nonprofit, Bruce's Legacy, scanning the entire lake with sonar. Then that was going on for several weeks. And then a few weeks ago, the media got an email from the Green Lake County Sheriff that they were holding a press conference with an update. I think a lot of us thought that they were going to announce that they found the body somewhere, but we really never could have expected what was to come next was that the sheriff announced that they believed that he had faked his death and he could be in Europe. So that was obviously really shocking here in the newsroom. We were kind of all scrambling to readjust our plans. Community was really shocked too. Some people I talked to in
And
the
what
Green
you're
Lake
seeing
community
right
said
now,
that
this is a video that he sent to the police, I think. He sent them proof of life.
were nervous to go swimming in the lake after he went missing because it freaked them out. And then, but then they started to suspect that something fishy might be happening after he didn't show up for a few weeks. I guess just no one thought it would be this
Fishy, no pun intended.
drastic of a situation.
Extremely drastic. Charles, so describe for us the lake, the search, and what's going through your mind as you are trying to find this man who seemingly had some sort of a tragic accident.
Yes, I heard about the story, and after a couple of weeks, they weren't finding him. So I sent a message to the sheriff's department. I said, if you need help with diving the lake, happy to come up there. And it's a very deep lake. It's 235 feet deep.
Damn.
So being able to dive at those depths, I thought maybe I could help.
This poor guy.
So they said, yeah, you can come. And I brought one of my
He was totally hosed. They totally wasted this guy's resources. He's a volunteer.
dive friends. His name's Carlos. We came up there on a Saturday morning. They were using cadaver dogs on boats to try to get a scent of a body. I guess it emits gases and they could pick up the scent on top of the water. So the boats got, those dogs got several hits. So the sheriff's department marked those locations and we went down and we used DPVs, diver propulsion vehicles, and reels hooked onto anchors to maintain our exact positions. And we searched for many hours for 2 days straight. And then we did another dive later on that week.
Unbelievable.
Areas of interest that they had. But the dogs reacted on something. No one really knows why. But we did check those areas and there was nothing there. There was also another location of interest. Keith from Bruce's Legacy was marking some spots and there was some terrain issues where he wasn't completely sure that he had that area covered well. So we did some deeper dives in that area to find anything and there was nothing down there. Now we kind of know why.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you about that, Charlie. What's your reactions being one of the people of the community who's like stepping forward to help and now finding out that this was something else, that this was a guy who was just trying to get out of Dodge and walk away from his life?
John Wayne Bobbitt's
Yeah, I mean,
penis.
there's a part of me that's like, it's very angry because it's not a very nice thing to do, of course. But there's another part of me that says, something in this guy's life drove him to do something of this magnitude. And that I just have a level of sympathy.
Yeah,
like,
we'll
what
get
in the
to
world
that.
could make someone do something like this? I just don't understand it. But I mean, I'm just thankful we had the opportunity to put the time in. I would do it again. But as far as any feelings toward the whole situation, it's like anyone else, we're just, we're shocked.
What do you guys think? I mean, what a fucking clown. He did get charged, but I think he should have to answer for why he did this. And he didn't. He was charged with a misdemeanor, but we'll get to that.
And Margaret, as this investigation is going on, there's no indication that this guy had done all these things. The dinghy boat, the e-bike. I mean, this is some great escape that he made.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what he told the sheriff's office happened. He described how he was able to get away with this. I don't know at this point how much they have confirmed those details of the story. We do know that Borgwardt had purchased an airline gift card prior to his disappearance.
Damn. Oh, there's your answer, Pearl. He purchased an airline gift card. I mean, this is a well thought out plan. My heart breaks for his wife, who has been married to him for 22 years. I mean, I was married for 15 and had 3 children, and my husband cheated, and I was absolutely devastated. I cannot I don't know how you would even deal with something like this, but it sounds like she has a lot of support in the community.
Maybe he used that when he got on the plane in Canada. There's a lot of unanswered questions still, and a lot of what we know right now is things that Borgwardt himself has told the sheriff's office.
And you make such a great point, Margaret, right? That, like, based upon what he has done here, you really can't take this guy at his word.
Right.
Has there been any reaction? Have we heard from friends and family?
Yeah, Borgwardt's family has been largely quiet. The sheriff has been communicating with them and says that they are devastated, working through this.
Poor
His family does want him to come home still. We haven't heard from them directly. They're not talking to the media. We also haven't heard from his neighbors in Watertown. Apparently, they didn't really know Borgwardt and his family very well, but we have heard that the community has been supportive of their family, and it seems like they just want their dad home.
Yeah, and it seems that maybe not everyone knew Borgwardt that well. If you're planning and plotting something to this extent, driving those 70 miles. Charlie, from your perspective, having been out there at the lake, the fact that he took a dinghy, you didn't come across anything like
coward.
That, right? I mean, because part of his story is that he takes this other boat to get to the shore.
Yeah, we recently learned that was part of the story. I mean, we didn't find anything from him at all.
My question is too, where did he meet this woman? Where did he meet this Eastern European woman? What was this dude doing on his computers? He deleted everything too, guys. He cleared out everything.
Charlie DeGroot?
He was...
Go ahead, finish that thought, Charlie. I'm sorry.
No, it's just, everything that was found, clearly now we know was staged. So it just changes, all the effort that went into the dives, the depths, the decompression stops, all that stuff. None of that. It was all set up. Like, we were completely played.
Unbelievable.
That being said, I would do it again if we were asked.
Absolutely.
But still, you look back at
that speaks volumes about you and the...
And he says we'd do it again. These people have hearts of gold. Imagine his kids thinking their dad is dead, and then they find out this. They lived two very traumatic events. Like, that is such a mind F for his kids. It's so selfish. Like, this dude is the epitome of selfishness. What a coward.
Community. Charlie DeGroot, thanks so much.
Exactly. Where online? What app was he using?
Margaret, I'm going to speak to you again. Coming up next, why? Why?
Why? Vinny's face.
In my apartment, I am safe, secure, no problem.
Whoa. I don't think I've seen him talk. What a freak.
In my apartment, I am safe, secure, no problem.
No problem? What about your kids, you freaking douchebag? Are you kidding me?
November 11th, being safe. Family that you furnished that, I'm going to present
To Ryan, and they ask for a proof of life video. These are usually used like in hostage situations, right? Send us proof of life.
Well, that's Sean too. Sean says, send me proof of life. NFT says, I'd let my kids see him, but I would be out. Trust gone. I agree. The kids are old enough to be able to, make their decisions, I think, on how they want to handle it. Thank you, NFT, for your generous super chat. But yeah, they asked for proof of life, and Ryan sent proof of life. We've got about 10 minutes until the school shooting update. We are sitting here waiting right here. I will click over live to that when it happens. Yeah, I mean, of course his kids wanted him back, right?
If you want the money. Well, in this case, they wanted proof of life that he was, in fact, Ryan, and he was alive. So here's the video.
Good evening, it's Ryan Borgwardt. Today, hello, Matt. Today is November 11th. It's approximately 10 a.m. by you guys. I'm in my apartment. I am safe, secure, no problem. I am.
This is bizarre. Can you imagine being his wife and seeing this? Unreal. Hey, Meredith.
Safe, secure, no problem. Hope this works.
Hope this works. What does he mean? I hope this works. Let's do a poll and see. Would you let the kids see their dad if you were them? Let me know what you think. I know it's kind of a dumb question, but you get it. You get the gist of it.
Wow.
Vinny's face. My thoughts on Vinny's face. Watch.
Hope this works.
Vinny is like, you must, my man, are a widow.
Wow. Didn't show too much of the apartment, but okay. That's him, folks. That's him. So an elaborate staging of the lake, of this, making it look like he drowned, this elaborate getaway. Now he's somewhere overseas, sends that video. He's alive. He faked it all. Brings us to our next question in this investigation. One word.
Why?
Why?
Why'd you do it, Ryan?
Joining me, someone who can answer this question, I believe, forensic psychiatrist, trial expert witness, author and columnist, Dr. Carol Lieberman. This is a different kind of
Hold on.
story, a different kind of case here. Why would a man do this?
Well, you know, most men, when they have midlife crises, go out and buy a red sports car and have some affairs. He's taking it to another level. It's like Walter Mitty. You know, the secret life of Walter Mitty with these fantastic daydreams, like that he would have had a sort of a relatively calm life, or a boring life, and he had these amazing daydreams that he wanted to live out. I mean, that's the best that one could say at this point. And supposedly he met this woman online, and, you know, the first thing that he did was to get life insurance. And he did that in January, $370.
Yeah, he should be in big trouble for that. He got $375,000 of life insurance in January.
$75,000 worth of life insurance. So that means he had to have met her before January. And so it's been going on for a very long time. Now, so, you know, on the one hand, you think, well, you know, that really sucks. That's terrible that he did this to his family. I mean, it is terrible. They are traumatized beyond anything. But, you know, this video is very disturbing. It almost looks like you can't really see any furniture in the apartment. It looks like a steel door.
It's very
it
weird.
Could be that he was catfished and that he's actually in danger.
Wow. That's an interesting take on all of it.
He's very nervous. He's whispering. Why does he have to whisper?
Probably
you don't see any furniture.
Probably because that girl's in his bed.
And then at the end, he says, I hope this works. Now, what is that supposed to mean? You know, does he just mean he hopes it works, that the police get the video? But it's very odd.
It's extremely odd. And looking at him, I mean, I'm looking at the photos as the baseline. I don't have video of him previously, but he looks different. And something just seems off. Again, I don't know what his baseline is, but and I guess you're picking up that vibe as well, that this video, there's just something a little unnatural about it, but the circumstances here are strange.
Yes,
Say that
he could have
again.
been catfish. This could be some, you know, she could have been the decoy to get him over there. And, you know, not sure for what, but he does not look like a happy man. I mean, if this was a man who went and met the woman of his dreams and he was having great sex and all of that, he would not look like this.
What do you think of that? I'm with her on that one. He doesn't look all that happy, but he's creepy looking. What
He
happened?
looks so much better in the photos with his family.
He does.
He looks legitimately.
Right. Look at his eyes, y'all. Whoa. What got into Ryan Borgwardt? Look at his eyes there compared to in June or July, that picture with his wife.
Who went and met the woman of his dreams and he was having great sex and all of that, he would not look like this.
He looks so much better in the photos with his family. He looks legitimately happy. He looks legitimately very.
What did Ryan get into? He looks different. What job did he do? Oh, I can't remember what he did. Maligator, do you know? Can't remember what he did for a living.
Very well, sort of like well stationed in life.
Yes.
Now, let's just talk about the family quickly as well. How do they reconcile all of this? His wife and his 3 children, who are young, but they seem to be old enough to understand what's going on here.
Well, it was like whiplash. You know, on the one hand, they think their father is dead. Her husband is dead. And of course, they're feeling really sad for him, and they're going to miss him and all of that. And they're going through this mourning, and then all of a sudden they find out that no, he's not dead. He's alive, and he's, in Eastern Europe somewhere, or so they think. And he doesn't seem to be wanting to come home. I mean, that is what hurts even more. It's not like he's saying, "Oh my God, I made a mistake. I came here. It was stupid. I'm coming home." That's not what he's saying.
And it's. So if he had passed away, that's traumatic. But then the whiplash effect, as you described, now all of a sudden, well, Dad doesn't want to be here. My husband, my life partner, doesn't want to be here. But what we've heard is that they want him to come back.
Yes, but I mean, it's a tremendous betrayal. I mean, they have gone through such emotions, as they find out more and more. It's an incredible betrayal. And, one of the strange things he said was that for why he, is not rushing to come home, is that because he thinks the town will be very much against him.
His image.
You're not thinking about your wife or your children. You care about the townspeople.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly. Dr. Carol Liebman, great to have your insight on this very different story. Great to see you. All right, folks, we got more to get to. I'm Vinnie Politan. We'll keep digging for answers as the investigation continues.
Okay, hold up.
Of 3 texted his wife that he was heading to shore, but Ryan never made it home. So when investigators started searching, it seemed like something happened to him when his...
All right, hold on. We're going to fast forward now because we know about the proof of life.
Green Lake County Sheriff.
Now, this is the latest update. God, this audio is terrible. I'm going to try to do the best I can to boost it. We are still on standby for this live presser. Actually, let's wait. Well, no, we'll start it.
They're the ones that kept us going. They couldn't be more proud of what they did for a family. We didn't give up. And we can stand here today feeling relieved. I have one of my detectives here, Detective Jeremiah Hansen, who played a big key, and my chief deputy, Chief Matt Vanderkolk, that stuck with me, and we had a great outcome. And there's one more thing I want to say thank you to, and that is to you folks, the media.
You had mentioned that you knew he was somewhere in Eastern Europe, but we're unsure exactly where. Have you been able to determine where he was and who he was with?
At this time, we're still putting that together, so I can't release it.
Wow. So as of 5 days ago, they were still putting together who he was with.
Is he cooperating with you guys? Have you been able
Hey,
to
Pine.
meet him in person?
He's cooperated with us. Came back to the United States.
Do you know if he's had any contact with his wife and kids since the last time we spoke here last month?
Then I can't release.
Can you detail how he returned back to the United States? Can you detail the step-by-step process of how he got back here?
Got on an airplane and landed in the United States.
Were there any other agencies involved in that
No.
getting him here? What country was he in that he flew from?
I can't release that.
Did he come willingly, Sheriff?
Can't release it.
Yeah.
Has he said what compelled him to come back to Wisconsin?
His family just.
And did he come back on his own, or
Yes.
Was he extradited?
No. No, he came back on his own.
So what charges could he be filed against him? You said he's awaiting his initial appearance.
Yep, he's waiting initial appearance. Everything was sent up to the DA's office, and they'll be the ones that we're reviewing.
What were the charging recommendations that you referred to the district attorney's office?
There was a number of them. Obstructing.
Did he notify law enforcement in advance before he came home, or did you find out after he returned to U.S. soil?
He notified us. We were in contact with him.
What international airport did he fly into?
I'm not going to release that.
Was he taken into custody by law enforcement at that airport, or did he return to Green Lake and turn himself in?
He returned on his own.
when is his first court appearance?
That I'm not
Someone's
sure.
heavy breathing. Is
maybe
Josh
today.
there?
That's up to the courts.
Have you spoken with his family since his return, and could you share any of maybe some of their feelings and what they may have had to say following the news?
We just briefly spoke to them, and I can only imagine how they feel.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the conversations that took place between your department and Ryan from the last press conference to today?
No, that we don't want to release.
Well, you kind of explained it in the share, but how are you feeling and how's your department feeling now knowing that he is back in Wisconsin on U.S. soil ahead of the holidays like your plea was last time we talked?
Relieved. I'm very proud of what he did in my department. But now when we walk out, we continue to do what we were doing all through this whole process. We never stop. We're continuing to serve our community in whatever call we get. And that's, the help of my department.
So he turned himself in here at the Green Lake Justice Center yesterday.
Yep.
Is he going to have to reimburse the county for the search effort?
That is part of the restitution that we present to the court.
What do you know about the woman he was involved with, and did she have a role at all in compelling?
I do not know.
They asked about the woman. Oh, we don't know. Did she have a role at all? We don't know.
Could anyone else be facing any charges for aiding him or anything? Could anyone else be facing any charges for aiding him or anything like that?
No.
Hey,
After
Evelyn.
you spoke, you said that in communication with him, he wanted to make things right or figure out a way out of this. Has he given any indication on his mindset now that he's back?
I can't release that. That's all part of the investigation that's going on. But I just want to thank everybody again for all the support that they have given my department.
Okay, and now we are still waiting for the live update on that Wisconsin school shooting. While we do that, I've got one more Ryan video. Check this one out.
Story today, we have an update.
Ooh, shit. Let me turn that shiz down. I'm so sorry. I probably just hurt all of your eardrums. All of you are getting new eardrums for Christmas.
From Green Lake County tonight. The missing kayaker who allegedly faked his own death and fled the country appeared in court and then walked free. Ryan Borgwardt was charged with obstructing an officer by planting evidence to make it look like he was dead. Now, online records show he's no longer in custody. CBS 58's Adam Reif live from Green Lake County for us tonight with more on a case that is drawing national attention. Adam?
We waited outside the Green Lake County Jail for about an hour for Ryan Borgwardt to exit after he signed that signature bond. His parents drove away without him, and later we never saw him, but the chief...
His parents were there? Good Lord above. Thank you, Shell, for your super chat. Happy holidays. His parents were there. I'd be like, son, you're on your fucking own, dude.
His parents drove away without him, and later we never saw him, but the chief deputy did say that he had signed that bond and left. In court earlier, Borgwardt was quiet and composed when speaking with the judge. He's facing one count of obstructing an officer as it is tied to the case where he allegedly faked his own death here in Green Lake.
Look at this schmuck. Look at him. What is this
faked
dude's
his own
deal?
death here in Green Lake.
Ooh. Oh, looks like we're they're prepping the mics over here for this press conference. Right. How about, I mean, even though she didn't cash in on the insurance, hello, you took it out with fraudulent purposes, for fraudulent purposes. You knew what you were going to do. It was planned for a long time. They just don't even want to fuck with them.
For the first time in months, Ryan Borgwardt was back home in Wisconsin.
State of Wisconsin versus Ryan Borgwardt.
Borgwardt sat quietly handcuffed in a Green Lake County courtroom Wednesday, charged in connection to the months-long deception.
I can't pay. I don't have money, so I'll defend myself.
The district...
I can't pay. I don't have money because you blew all the family money.
Long deception.
I can't pay. I don't have money, so I'll defend myself.
The district attorney argued Borgwardt was a flight risk and asked the judge for a cash bond and that Borgwardt surrender his passport. Borgwardt said he couldn't pay a cash bond.
I have $20 in my wallet in the other room, so that's what I have.
The judge ultimately issued a $500 signature bond, meaning Borgwardt only had to sign and not pay in order to be released.
He has come back apparently halfway around the world, voluntarily turned himself in. That shows to the court that he does not appear to be a flight risk at this time.
Back in August, Borgwardt's family, his community, and countless searchers feared he was dead after his capsized kayak was found in Green Lake. Authorities say it was all a lie. Authorities tracked him down via email. He explained he wanted to disappear and, quote, everything hinged on me dying in the lake. He explained,
What? They reached him via email? Listen.
He explained he wanted to disappear and, quote, everything hinged on me dying in the lake. He explained how he went through Canadian customs, then booked a flight to Paris. From there, he flew to an unnamed Asian country where a woman he was communicating with picked him up.
Asian country? I thought he went to freaking Europe. What the fuck? This guy? This guy? What? I'd love to know who that woman was that picked him up, what she looked like. Holy.
There he flew to an unnamed Asian country where a woman he was communicating with picked him up. Borgwardt was out of the country for months, but he willingly flew back and turned himself in Tuesday.
On December 10th, Ryan arrived on U.S. soil.
Authorities have been in contact with him since November, and he alerted them that he was coming back to turn himself in.
Did he come willingly, Sheriff?
Yeah.
But the sheriff would not say what it was that convinced him to return.
That's going to be up to him someday.
What?
But we're not going to release that.
Authorities.
What's going to be up to him someday? Oh, there's more to this story, guys. There's more to this story. He's kind of like smirking. Was this dude catfished?
Would not say what it was that convinced him to return.
That's going to be up to him someday.
He's kind of smiling. Was this dude catfished? Why is he smiling?
But we're not going to release that.
Authorities are still piecing together where exactly Borgwardt went, who he was with, and why he fled his family. Still, the sheriff celebrated his return.
But it was one thing that that worked in our favor. We brought a dad back on his own accord.
Sheriff Mark Podol would not speak about Ryan Borgwardt's state of mind right now. He also did not talk about how the department was communicating with Borgwardt's family or how they were feeling about this ordeal so far. They have not spoken out publicly about it.
Good afternoon, and
here we go.
Thanking you for being here, but under these circumstances, I'll just give you a minute to start your live streams or do whatever you need to do.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, my name is Chief Sean Barnes, SHONBARNES. I'm currently the Chief of Police for the Madison Police Department. I'll be providing a brief update of the school shooting that we had today in Madison. There is some information that we're not going to release because it's still an ever-evolving situation. You'll hear from some of our representatives from our city and from our county. And behind me are a lot of people who came together today to make sure that the day ended well and that everyone else was safe. So with that being said, I'll go ahead and start my remarks. Today truly is a sad day for Madison and for our country. It is a day that I believe will live in our collective minds for a very, very long time. Here are the details. Today at 10:57 a.m., our team was called to the Abundant Life Christian School in reference to an active shooter. We know that 3 people are dead, including the suspect shooter. We know that the suspect shooter was a teenage student who attended the school. At this time, we're not releasing the age or gender of the student or any other identifying remarks about the student. 2 other people have died. That died were a teacher and a teenage student.
Jesus Christ.
6 other people were injured.
A week before
2 students
Christmas.
are now in critical condition in the hospital, and these injuries are considered life-threatening injuries. 4 students are also at other area hospitals with non-life-threatening injuries. But these are just the physical injuries that we know about. We know that this was the middle of the day of a school day, and so there will be other injuries that we'll have to face for a very, very long time. And we're going to do everything we can as a community to heal those injuries as well.
Thank you for addressing that, Chief.
Many of you have asked me about the why of this. Why did this happen? What do we know? What was the motivation? I do not know. But I will tell you this, our detectives are working hard in the investigative process to find out as many answers as we can so that we can further prevent these things from happening, not only in this community, but in other communities around our country. I think we can all agree that enough is enough, and we have to come together to do everything we can to support our students, to prevent press conferences like these from happening again and again and again. The school building itself is clear. We have cleared the school. There's no other threats or danger to the community. We're in the process now of what we call reunification. And what that simply means is making sure that every student that was in the school is present and accounted for and returned to their loved ones. This usually takes a while, but we have practiced, unfortunately, and practice and
yes,
practice.
It was a student.
And that's why we're able to reunify students with their parents within hours of a school shooting. The reunification is taking place at the Dean Clinic on Stoughton Road, and I certainly thank them for their help. Again, we need our public to find an alternate route. If that is your normal way home as we get closer to the end of the day, please be patient or find another route home. We're currently processing the scene. We're interviewing those who may have been witnesses, and we're obtaining search warrants to get additional information. And lastly, I want to just say thank you to everyone who's standing behind me, the organizations and agencies that they represent, the men and women of the Madison Police Department and Dane County Sheriff's Office who selflessly ran into a building not knowing what they were going to encounter. Many of you know this about me, but I started my professional career, if you will, as a public school teacher back in 1997. And I taught public school for 4 years. It was one of the greatest joys of my life before becoming a police officer. And I can tell you what a special place our schools are. With that being said, we owe it to our community to do everything possible to ensure that it's not only a special place, but a safe place as well. And we're going to continue to do that. So we ask for your patience as information is coming in. We will do the best that we can to bring you accurate and timely information, but we want to make sure that our public knows that we're working extremely hard on this particular incident. There are a lot of people involved, and certainly we're going to come together as a community. I'd like to bring up at this time Police Fire Chief Chris Carver.
Thank you, Chief Barnes. Before I start, the only thing I can say is this is not a place that any fire chief or any one of us would ever want to be. And I can't believe I'm standing here today talking about this incident. The fire department is a part of this community, much like all the folks standing up here with me today. Our hearts are with and our arms are around everybody impacted today and everybody within our community. With that, I won't repeat the details shared by Chief Barnes, but I will share with you the fire department activity for today. Much like Chief Barnes mentioned, at 10:57, we were also dispatched with Engine 5 and Medic 5 to the same location. Throughout the course of the incident, we responded with 5 engine companies, 4 ladder companies, 15 ambulances. I would like to take a moment and share our gratitude for our county partners throughout a multitude of EMS and fire agencies that joined us in the response today. We also had 11 off-duty chief officers that came in on this response, so it was a tremendous response from the fire department. We transported 4 patients to St. Mary's. We transported 3 patients to the University of Wisconsin hospitals. On the arrival of our crews, I can say my gratitude to our membership for what they did and their selfless actions today. It's hard for me to place into words what they ran into as well. They did that immediately. They did that selflessly. And within a course of 15 minutes, from the first transport to the last transport, all the patients were on their way to the hospital.
Wow.
So to our membership within the Madison Fire Department and within all the emergency services, my gratitude, my recognition of the work that goes into this, the training that went into this, that again, we had hoped we would never have to put into practice. One more time on behalf of the Madison Fire Department, our hearts are with you, our arms are around you, and we will be with you throughout the duration of this. So at this point, I'll step aside, turn it over to the mayor.
Thank you, Chiefs, both of you. This is an incredibly sad day for our community. As you've heard, there is no danger to the community at this time, but our entire community has been impacted by this tragic incident. On behalf of the Common Council and the City of Madison staff, I want to offer our heartfelt condolences to the victims and families and to the whole Abundant Life community. Our focus now is on supporting them and supporting the victims and their families. And we will continue to do that through the coming days and weeks. I also want to thank our first responders, the police, fire, the medical staff, for their quick action and their life-saving efforts. As you've heard already, this is a whole of government response. It is not just police and fire. It is not just City of Madison. We have folks from all around the county. We have folks from multiple agencies engaged in both the initial immediate response and the ongoing support, and will be engaged for days and weeks to come. I also want to thank the White House and the governor and others in the federal government and state government for reaching out to offer their support and help. We will be drawing on resources as needed going forward. But the most important thing right now is to make sure that we are centering the victims and their families, and that we are doing whatever we can to support them and to help them heal, and to lift our entire community up through this difficult incident. I am on record that I think we need to do better in our country and our community to prevent gun violence.
Yeah, we hear this every time, yet it still
And
happens.
I hoped that this day would never come in Madison. It is not something that any mayor, any fire chief, any police chief, any person in public office ever wants to have to deal with. And so I will ask our entire community and our entire country to do whatever we can to make sure that no public official ever has to stand in this position again. And now I'll invite the county executive to the podium.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today, our community is reeling from the heartbreaking and senseless tragedies at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison. As a mom who received a text from her son at a high school here in the city of Madison wondering if he was safe, I can tell you, this hits you in the gut. Our community is better than this. Our country is better than this. Cannot continue. My heart goes out to the victims and their families and the students and the educators, and the list goes on and on. Every one of us is affected by this unimaginable and unacceptable violence that has hit our community today. Dane County stands united in grief with the Abundant Life Christian School community. The Sheriff's Department, the Department of Emergency Management, Department of Human Services have all been on the front lines. My phone has been ringing from people across our state and our nation asking what it is that they can do to help our community. And right now, it is our time to be committed to supporting this school, these students, and these families, and our first responders who went into that building during this devastating time. We must work closely with our law enforcement officers and first responders, mental health professionals, community leaders, and policymakers to ensure that we are taking care of one another. No community should ever have to endure such a tragedy. And my administration is going to do everything that it can to provide assistance to those who have experienced this devastating loss, and also do everything that we can to prevent such tragedy from occurring. To all of those who are grieving in our community, please know that you're not alone. Dane County stands with you. We're here to support you in any way possible. Please reach out and ask for help. The governor's office, as well as the mayor's office, and I will continue to update the public as we learn more. But please understand, there are many things that we cannot share with you right now. This is an active investigation. This is an active case. The SSM Health Clinic near the intersection of Buckeye Road and Stoughton Road is the reunification center. I know that that has been out, but we need to make sure that folks know where it is that they can go to be reunited with their children. Again, in the coming days, we are going to make sure that we are supporting those that have been most impacted by this. But folks, reach out, ask for help. This does not need to be the reality of our community. Thank you.
All right, we'll start over here with questions. Just raise your hands.
Tell us, how did this unfold? Can you give us a bit of a timeline on how your officers got into the building?
Sure. We received the call at approximately 10:57 a.m. Someone from the school called 911 to report that there was an active shooter. That means something different to us. Obviously, there's different protocols that go out, tone alerts even, so that even if officers are busy doing other things, they respond. One of the things that I do want to note is that our training center is about 3 miles from there. We have special event team medics, those that work with the fire department, responded to this particular scene from their training day. So what began as a training day became an actual day. And so that's how this call originally came in.
Nicholas, did you have a question?
What can you tell us, if anything, more about this shooter and what their motivations were, or have you made contact with their family members? Anything updated on that? Sure. There's nothing new that I can tell you about the shooter at this time. Again, as difficult as today is, that's still someone's child that's gone. That's still someone that has to deal with what happened today. And so we want to make sure that we can ensure as much cooperation as we can. You asked me about why, as I stated before. I don't know why. And I felt like if we did know why, we could stop these things from happening. But what I will tell you is, as soon as we are done with the investigation, any information that we uncover that will not compromise the safety of anyone involved or compromise the confidentiality of any of these children that are involved, we'll tell you. I just ask for your patience.
All right, over there. Sorry, go right ahead.
Chief, what kind of gun was used today?
We know it was a handgun.
A handgun.
A handgun was recovered.
All right, sit down right there.
Where'd she get one?
Confined to one classroom, or did it spread out?
We know it was confined to one space. I do not know if it was a classroom or a hallway. One of the things that we've gotten very good at, certainly different from in my day, is that if you do not need to be in a crime scene, you do not need to go to a crime scene. And so the crime scene and those persons who were involved, they have that crime scene locked down. I did not go or enter into that crime scene. But if you can imagine, most schools, the students go together, but they are segregated. So on each different floor, in each different group. And so there's no evidence that anyone else was injured that was not in the age group.
Danielle?
What can you say at this time about how school staff responded when the shooting started?
I cannot speak to how the school staff responded. We did have injuries, but it could have always, of course, had additional injuries. I do not know what the school's protocols are. Again, this is a private Christian school. I know that we have a very good rapport with MMSD, Madison Metropolitan Schools, public schools. So we have done trainings for them before, but I would assume that most of the teachers have the same or some similar type of training as a part of their certification.
There's conflicting reports online about how many students are enrolled at the school. Can you confirm approximately how many students attend?
I do not know how many students attend the school, but their website says that they serve about 200 families.
Right in the back, white.
What kind of support systems are going to be made available to people who are affected by the attack?
That's a good question. As you heard from our mayor and our counter exec, we have services within our government that will be made available to them. I have a lot of confidence that they're going to follow through on that, and we'll make sure that that persons who need to. Do you guys want to speak to that?
So, Dane County Human Services, as well as the Red Cross and other consolidated agencies, are already on scene. And we will continue to be on scene, and those resources will be bolstered. Again, please reach out. You are not alone. We are going to navigate this together, and there are people who are affected by this trauma who are not in the reunification center or at the school. We need folks to be reaching out because we do have resources available.
Did you know if Abundant Christian Life School, did they have a school resource officer employed?
It's not my knowledge that they had a school resource officer. That if they did, it would be a police officer, and I know where they all are, and they're not in the schools right now.
15 in the back there.
So in terms of witnesses that you mentioned about investigation, what is that looking like, and how many
Sure.
witnesses are you guys speaking with?
Sure. So the detectives will talk to anyone who may have seen this particular event unfold, anyone that may have been unfortunate to hear something. They will be talking to them. It's my understanding that that's in process now, and everyone is cooperating fully. That will give us an idea of not only what unfolded, but it could answer the question to motivation, because again, the students who unfortunately had to witness this. But that's not something that we want to rush. We're not going to interrogate students. We're going to give them an opportunity to come in and speak to what they may have saw when they feel ready, which is why some of these questions can't be answered right now.
All right, Spectrum Room.
How do you reassure the community that it's still okay to go back to school? I mean, everybody's got kids, and I think, maybe it happened at this school, but there's everybody that's got a kid anywhere, right? This in Dane County, it's gonna be hard.
Yeah, I think you're asking me, how can I say 100% that no child will ever be harmed in school? I can't. No police chief can. But all I can tell you is that we have systems in place so that if something happens, we can respond like we did today. I can tell you that our mayor and our county exec has committed resources to not only public health, but also mental health. I can tell you that every teacher that I've ever had contact with at MMSD cares deeply about their students. Every staff member, I talk to staff members all the time who tell me things that are going on in the schools and want to do whatever they can, even if it's under anonymity, to let me know that they want to have a safe school. So my reassurance to the public is that if you see something, say something. If you know someone who may be going through a difficult time, please reach out to someone. And I think what I can do is make sure that our police department is transparent and open and honest and inviting for people to call and give information. I think MMSD does an excellent job of that. And the same thing can be said for any other private school. If you want to give information or you need someone to talk to, I can promise you we'll have someone there to get that information.
All right, then.
Understanding that this is a private school you may not be as familiar with, what can you tell us about some of the physical measures that are in place at this school, whether it's metal detectors, secure entryway, cameras, etc.?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've never been in this school, unfortunately.
Oh my God, there's
I'm not
a video
aware
of
that
her
there were
practicing
metal
shooting. Look.
detectors in the school. That's something that we can certainly look at. Most schools have some form of
This is her
surveillance
ex,
or public space cameras.
allegedly.
But that will be, of course, part of the investigation process.
Scott.
Chief, can you clarify? You said 7 were injured, but 6 were hospitalized. Does that mean one's been treated and released? And secondly, is the shooter's family cooperating with the investigation?
Yeah, so it's 2 questions, but let me try to handle the first one. So I'm trying to go back to my notes. So we do know that 1 person was pronounced at the scene, and so that may be the 7th person. But we can get you all that information just when we're done. I'll have my PIO get that to you so you can report it accurately. And what was your second question?
Is the shooter's family cooperating?
At this time, yes.
Right there.
So you have made contact with the shooter's family?
We have.
And what were the steps taken to do that?
It's through the investigative process, okay?
Laura?
Yeah.
Is the shooter's home being searched? We've got some information that is ongoing.
Yes, obviously, once we have identified, we have initiated a search, but we think that search is either ongoing now or that search may be concluded. Of course, it's about safety. That's the first thing, making sure that people are safe, and then we'll go from there. This has been, this has been an amazing day for everyone. And so if you have someone who is deceased, who may have been a shooter, you want to make sure that their family is okay. You don't know. And so that is what we're doing right now. It is about the safety of everyone. This is going to be a long day for the Madison Police Department. We just want some of your patience.
Are you aware, had the school had any prior threats? And then just, jumping off of that, do you know if the shooter had any prior contact with law enforcement?
We do not know that the shooter had any prior contact with law enforcement, but I did do a check of the school. There were some calls, but they were like 911 hang-ups, things of that nature. There was nothing that suggested that the school was a place that violence would occur.
Chief, I know that you mentioned that the shooter died of a self-inflicted gun wound. Did that happen before officers arrived at the school, or when the shooter saw officers coming into the school?
Yeah, so let me say that the cause and manner in which the shooter died will be determined by the inmate. But what I can tell you is the shooter was dead upon our arrival, police department arrival, and no officers fired their weapons. Okay?
Lucas?
What are these search warrants you're executing? Are they at the residence on like a device the shooter had?
What do you, I'm sorry.
The extent of the search warrant.
Yeah, so the extent of the search warrant is to be able to go in a place that we don't have permission to be in and make sure that everyone is okay. And then if there's any evidence that we think we need to collect, we could only do that with the use of a search warrant. And so again, we have to determine if there is evidence that we will need. Everyone wants to know what led up to this. Are there any additional threats to public safety? Is this person, or was this person by themselves? There are a lot of questions that we want to answer, but we have to answer the safety questions first, and then we'll move on to some of the more investigatory questions.
Are you in possession of any of the shooter's devices?
I am not, no.
Catherine?
I'm wondering about metal detectors. You mentioned in the first meeting that you were not a fan, and that this school probably doesn't have them. And do you know other schools that do? Do you think that that's something we should start talking about, metal detectors in schools?
I guess the question is, would you want your child to go to a school with or without metal detectors?
Oh, I can't answer that.
I can't.
Right now in a school without them.
Yeah, absolutely. So the idea is to create the safest environment that we can without metal detectors. That is my answer.
In the back?
Chief, this was a shooting at a Christian school right before the Christmas holiday. Can you address the impact of that? And is the Christmas holiday at all, in your belief, related to as a motivation for the shooting?
Yeah, so to the question of motivation, we don't know why, but to the question of so close to Christmas, we have a lot of people going to be impacted. If it's a Christian school, then obviously our holidays, our Christian holidays are very important to the students, very important. It's a time for family. Students probably getting ready to go out on break, and now the break will be a little less about celebrating Christmas than more about celebrating perhaps friends and loved ones and staff members who perhaps lost their life. That's why I'm asking everyone to, of course, keep Abundant Life Christian School in your thoughts and in your prayers, and we'll get a couple more, okay?
Okay, real quick, Phoebe.
So it's a private school that takes public money through the voucher system. So what has this revealed about maybe gaps in security or training for staff? Is that something you're thinking about whether schools that are private but take public money need to be, kind of on par with?
Why does that person look like they're shot in the head?
Well, what I'm telling you is that in 1997, I began my professional career as a public school teacher. I taught history for 4 years before becoming a police officer.
I thought it was a shooting range too.
Far enough to take courses in administration and budgeting of schools. I don't know what governs private schools, if they receive money, where that comes from. That would probably be a question that you would probably need to ask someone who's more intimately involved in the school system and what their requirements are if they do receive that. But you could probably compare what has happened or what goes on, their security measures, with the security measures of any school in MMSD, and then that may give you your answer. That's a very.
Why is there a guy right there, though?
Because you know there has been some criticism to other law
Who's that guy?
response to these school shootings is particularly involving. How how did that inform your game plan today? And how quickly were your officers able to get into the school? What were they told to do?
Sure. We train on this, as I spoke about earlier. When officers arrive on the scene, they immediately go in, which we did in this case. Stop the threat, stop the killing, find the killer. That's how we train. And that's exactly what we did today. There's no waiting. There's no coordination of who's in charge. Everyone knows exactly what to do. I spoke about this earlier. We train on this constantly. Our commanders, including the fire chief and I, was in a commander's training less than 2 weeks ago, going over this exact same scenario for another fictional location. And so all of that came into play today, and our officers performed
This
extremely
is on what's
well
supposed to be
based
her
on
ex.
their training and based on the expectations that they know exactly what to do. Stop the threat, stop the killing, find the threat.
Right, I promise with a follow-up. Can we just do one more?
We're gonna
Say
do
one
one
more.
more.
For the current student. Wait, hold on, right here, right here.
Thank you,
Hold on.
all.
Hold on.
This is
I
4
think
hours
the
ago.
questions have been asked, and we're straying a little far from what's most important at this point in time, and that is the victims and their families. I have 3 things to add. First of all, there is a lot that our community can and will do in the coming days to support the victims and their families, and we will have more information at future briefings. If anyone, and I would urge you all to include this in your stories, if anyone needs mental health support as a result of this incident and the coverage of it, I encourage them to reach out to 988 by phone or text and to get the mental health support that they need. It is incredibly important that we take care of our community in this very difficult time. We all have a role in preventing gun violence. Our entire community needs to be part of the solution here. There are many things that we can do, and we can have those conversations in coming days. But first and foremost, what needs to be the priority for all of us is supporting our young people. And that is where our community's attention needs to turn at this point in time. The police department, the fire department, the city, the county will share additional information about the investigation as it becomes available. But I urge you all to help our community find resources to support their mental health and to find resources to support the victims and families at this time. Thank you all.
Where can people go to see your updates? What can we tell them to
It'll be at cityofmadison.com. Me, Stephanie, and Cynthia will stick around and answer any other questions.
cityofmadison.com.
Let me say just before I go, because the mayor mentioned that this was a whole of government response. It certainly was, and there's so many people that we want to thank. We cannot thank everyone, but it's also a whole of law enforcement response. Even though we are in different agencies, we all have the same training. And so I want to thank our partners with the FBI who are here with me today, partners with the ATF, Dane County Emergency Management. Of course, we already talked about our fire department. We've got calls from the Attorney General of the United States, Wisconsin State Patrol, our governor's office, State Patrol, Monona, as well as our sheriff's office. I know I may have left someone out, but thank you for how you responded, professionally, quickly, and according to the way that we all trained, and it all came together to ensure that no other persons were hurt. Thank you.
Chief, can you just say what time you guys made entry? We just want to nail that detail down.
10:57.
But that's the time you made
That's
entry.
all. They arrived in 1 minute?
We'll
How
work
long
on
does it
getting
take till they
that. So
arrive?
our
10:57 they made entry. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so I'll explain what we've been looking at here. That press conference is over.
Here at 5:30 tonight, and I will work on getting that information. Do you know how many search warrants were executed? I don't have that information. I can see check with our
So cityofmadison.gov or whatever is where you get updates. But this, now let me tell you where I got this from. JLR shared this as well. Hold on. This is what is alleged to be the shooter's ex, or an account the shooter made. This picture right here, 4 hours ago. there 4 hours ago. Okay. And it kind of links back to, let's listen to this. There's no sound. I don't know what the hell this is. This is December 13th. And this guy just like he walks away. And there's like a handgun over to like thrown to the right. This was 3 days ago. 11:58 p.m. on December 13th, 2024. I don't know if it's some kind of reenactment, but the X name is at Postal Brained. And this is what they shared. And then they shared this. It says, hey man, I don't have a lot of time, so I'll get right down to it. I'm going to be dead in the next hour or two, max. And then down at the bottom left-hand corner, it says NYHETSBYRAN. I don't know. It's creepy. But if we go back here, JLR says, who is Samantha Rupp now? And he shared this. And the chief declined to identify the sex of the shooter. And then you have this Crystalline. All these people have anime photos too. This is Crystalline, who acts like they were in a relationship with Samantha. So it's at Severed Head. In remembrance of Samantha Rupp now, who was driven to suicide by the worst people this world has to offer. Two hours ago, to everyone who is saying, live stream it, do this, do that, or anything, go fuck yourself, genuinely. Samantha was one of the nicest, most beautiful people in the world. She was perfect in every way. But no, people like you just had to ruin her life. Make her feel hated. And then she goes on to say, make her do this. You are all horrible people. Every single one of you. If you ignored people picking on her, it's your fault. If you weren't nice to her, it's your fault. Oh, and especially her fucking father. Lock that piece of shit up. Holy. Or better yet, death penalty. Fuck him. Fuck everyone. Why are you people like this? I loved her. I loved her so much. She was the perfect human being. I put all my effort into being with her. Everything I could. I did everything to prevent this. But no. Because of people like you. And yes, I mean, you reading this. If you weren't supporting her in every way, you could. It's your fucking fault. Go fuck yourselves. I hate all of you. Oh my God. Someone needs to find this person and get them help. This is it. I might off myself soon or go to a mental hospital to lock myself up so I won't do that. You people took my future, the love of my life, my wife. You took everything from me. I hate you all. Tark out. Then she says, retard. People are tagging the FBI. Check this account. There is never an excuse to hurt fucking kids ever. If you hurt kids, you are the bad guy, period. I mean, this is really fucking disturbing. Sounds like you failed your girlfriend. Oh my God. So this is severed head. Hang on. "12 hours ago, I might be fucked." What? This is her? No way. Oh, man. They just retweeted about Luigi. Yeah, it'll probably get taken down, Lindsay. These people, oh my God. Look at the Trump shooter. Oh. Luigi is our guy. Look at this. They're making a cryptocurrency out of her now. What? What does that even mean? Someone did say save the hospital. I saw that. It's not very nice. God, this is a mess. Let me see. What am I missing? Because I think I have that right here. What am I missing? Oh, that's a different one. You can just start a cryptocurrency in someone's name. I don't know anything about cryptocurrency, but this is weird. Look at this, you guys. What? Samantha, it says. SOL. Samantha Rupp now. It is so weird. I don't know how any of this works. I've never even seen one of these. Whoa. But look here. It says Samantha Rupp now thought to be using @PostalBrain on X, ID'd as Christian school shooter at Abundant Life Christian School in Madison, Wisconsin. Shooter described as trans student according to X user Crystal Lynn with the X handle severed head. Unconfirmed social media postings have identified the suspect juvenile shooter at a Madison, Wisconsin school as that of a transgender individual. The gunman, identified as Samantha Rupp now on X, is alleged to have been the suspect shooter. In revised numbers, a total of 3, including the juvenile gunman who took their own life, were killed in Monday's school shooting. Madison police revised their numbers downwards from an initial 5 to 3. And then they share this severed head stuff. Alluding to the student gunman being that of Sam Rupp now. Sam. An account going by the name of Crystalline posted in remembrance of Samantha Rupp now, who was driven to suicide by the worst people this world has to offer. And we read all of those. The identity of the school shooter is yet to be released, with one social media posting below alluding to the unclear gender of the student shooter. Nick Sorter put on X, WTF, police in Wisconsin are unable to determine if the Christian school shooter is, quote, male or female. Why? Take a listen to this clip.
Weapons, thank you.
They never fired their weapons.
That is correct.
Correct.
Let's follow that one question.
I don't know if it's a male or female, but the police department did not fire their weapons. Thank you.
They
never fired their weapons.
That is correct.
Correct?
Let's follow
I
that one
don't,
question.
I don't know if it's a male or female, but the police department did not fire their weapons. Thank you.
They never fired their weapons.
That is correct.
Correct?
Let's follow that one question.
I don't know if it's a male or female, but the police department did not fire their weapons. Thank you.
They never fired their weapons.
So that's what they had to say earlier. An account going by the name of @PostalBrained also appeared to be sharing the same image of an individual in a toilet cubicle, as also shared by Crystalline. But Crystalline also puts Free Luigi. Very disturbing stuff, right? Very bizarre. Okay, let's see what else JLR is pulling out. Let's see if he's got anything else. Oh, he's got that. Nope, that's it. Okay, here is a mother who has students at the Abundant Life.
Thank you so much.
After this ad plays,
It really makes all the effort worth it.
after these commercial breaks. That gives me time to do this. Thank you for being here today, you guys. I appreciate you. You could be a million different places, but you're here. And for that, I'm very grateful. I want to wish all of you a very, very happy holiday this year. And here we go.
A little bit ago, but my mom, obviously, she lives nearby and she watches my kids, so she did give me a call that she saw a ton of police, and obviously my daughter goes here and my nieces and nephews, my sister, so she called me on the phone. She told me, please remain calm, so I was already trying to mentally prepare, but yeah, after a bit, I was kind of like, okay. And she's like, there is an active shooter at the school. She had like an inside source kind of tell her. And I just bolted out, drove down here. I called my husband, and he made his way over here. Obviously, I couldn't get in, but I went around the back to my mom's house and talked with her. And like I said, my sister is involved with the school, so I was able to get a little bit of an inside take on what was going on. But she did tell me that they were okay. But
Terrifying. Terrifying. A week before Christmas. And that was 2 hours ago. So we have, just to recap, a teen student, the teacher, and the shooter themselves, all deceased. We have a family who lost a teenager to this. So the question is, too, was the student and teacher targeted? Was she targeting these two people? And then offed herself. Baby boop, I know. I think YouTube is ramping it up at the holidays, if you will. It's so sad, guys. Keep these people in your thoughts, man. This teacher, I mean, I don't know if she has kids or a husband, parents, sisters and brothers. These people are going to be burying their loved ones while we're celebrating Christmas, y'all. It's fucked up. It's so fucked up. Hey, Divine. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it looks like from the X stuff, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark and disturbing stuff. You know? I'm sure those X accounts will be taken down shortly. What time? So they went in at 11. That would have been noon Eastern. So it's literally only been like 4.5 hours. Well, I mean, and let's face it, the shooter has parents too, right? She's also a teenager who has family. It's absolutely horrible. Horrible. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap this one up. I just want to thank you guys so much for being here. I hate these school shootings, and they always say, oh, enough's enough, enough's enough. Please lock your guns up. Please lock your ammo up. Be a part of the solution. You know, it's not about I shouldn't have to anymore. Like, those days are gone. Obviously, we have to. And then we have in Georgia, we have the father being charged with that as well, that school shooting. But I just feel like it's become like such a stubborn way of thinking. It's my right. Yes, it is your right. But we live in a day and age where these kids are off their fucking chain, man. And it's not about taking away your rights. It's about being responsible, seeing what happens and being proactive, right? If it saves one child, one school shooting from happening, fucking, is it not worth it to put your pride down a little bit? Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And everybody, just be kind to one another, too. That's another thing. Teach your children to be kind. If they don't agree with how someone else is living, tell them to look the other fucking way. If more people looked the other way, this world would be a much better place to live in. Because what our neighbor's doing is really none of our fucking business. When we all really should be looking in the mirror at ourselves. If you want to know the honest to God truth, the next time you go and, really truly criticize someone to the point where you're making them feel lower or feeling, lesser than. I mean, really think about that. Think about what that does to someone's psyche. Think about what that does to someone's psyche that may not have the support, to vent that shit out. Just be fucking nice. It's so easy. On that note, I have the nicest chatters here. You guys are the bomb. You guys always keep it respectful, even when we don't agree, and I appreciate y'all for that. So, concluding this Monday Live, Monday, December 16th, 2024. Let's roll our credits, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Hey, tomorrow morning, 11 a.m., Rex Huerman, big case update. You're going to be portaled over there. After this live ends, you'll be portaled, so hold on to your tinfoil hats. Ganja, you might want to put that little strap, that little elastic strap under your chin so yours doesn't fall off. And then I will see you guys in the next one. And exactly, you never know what someone is living with behind closed doors. I love you guys. Stay true to yourselves. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this live stream or video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on my latest content. Want to take it a step further?
Bring it all in.
And join our community clickers by becoming a Patreon or a YouTube member. You'll get exclusive access to our Discord server, special channel perks, and much more. Until then, I'll see you in the next one.
Click, 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 click. It's real easy, man.
I don't give a damn. I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. You talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. Damn, damn. I don't give a damn. You wanna be with me. You wanna feel something real, but I'm feeling differently. You're making plans to get to friends, but don't wanna face the fact that I ain't got time for that. Stay Staying up late, sleeping all day, dreaming about Cadillacs. Buying new shoes, hanging by the pool, sipping on Coke and Jack. Calling my phone when you feel alone, but I'll never call you back. 'Cause I ain't got time, I ain't got time, I ain't got time for that. I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, you talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, I don't give a damn. 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 You're mad at me for not giving you comfort. You say that I'm away so much and now you don't feel the way you felt when we were younger. But that's okay for me, 'cause I don't give a damn, I don't really care about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, you talk way too much. I have heard enough about you and your problems. I don't give a damn, I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn. I don't give a damn.
Bye, Jennifer.